So now I'm going to show you how to create an assessment. Here's our trackers. There's two ways you can do it. We can click on an assessment and then we can search for the assessment. So I'll click on assessment now. Once I click on assessments, I can search an assessment from people that I am following. I can search it by subject in, let's say, math. I can search by the standards that I have. I can search by the class that I want. I can search by which standards I want. Like if I'm looking for a particular standard, I can search just a particular standard. Or I can search by created by. I wanted to search from created by teachers that I'm following because I want to make sure it's a good quality. So these are the teachers I'm following, and if I want one of their assessments, say I want this one, I can click on that. If I clicked on it, it'll pull up the actual assessment and I can look through it. Once it comes up, I can look through it, go to each of the different questions. If I decide that is one I want, I could add it to my tracker. If I add it to my tracker, it's going to tell me which ones I can add it to. But I don't really want to add this one, so I'm not going to add it. And add to selected. There wasn't any selected, so it's not going to add it. But if it did, it would tell me which classes it uploaded to right there. So I'm going to close it, and that's not the way that I want to go to create an assessment. So I'm going to go into the trackers again. This time I want to actually create an assessment for my first period math class. So I go into that tracker, and now I'm going to go to the orange button and I'm going to add an assessment. When I add the assessment, I can either search the community like I just did. I don't want to do that. Or I can select from my assessments on assessments that I've already created, but I'm not doing that yet. I'm actually going to go from create a new assessment. So when I go to create the new assessment, this is going to be, it tells me which tracker. Later on, I'm going to be able to add more trackers to it if I want. You can do one particular standard if you want, but I usually do multi-standard because most of mine usually have more than one. Then I'm going to do, this is going to be my quick check 1. And it's going to be over dividing fractions. So that'll just help me. My assessment source is going to be Certica because I want the test bank. I'm going to click on NS1. So when I click on NS1, I can choose the depth of knowledge. I want depth of knowledge 2. Then I want to view some of them. The green, hover over the green and it'll pull up multiple choice responses. It'll pull up the questions that you choose from. So what's the value of the expression 3/8 divided by 2/5? And they would have to do that, and then they would choose. So I'm going to add that item. And here's another one. I'm going to add that item. And I want a word problem. And I don't want that one, so I'm going to skip over that one. And I don't want that one, so I'm going to skip over that one. I don't want that one. Let me skip it. I do not want that one, so I'm going to skip it. 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 I'm going to skip that one too. I don't want that one. Don't want that one. Nope. Nope. There. This is the one I want. I want it because it has, yep, I'll just add that one. So far I have, let me close out of that. So I can look on this side, it shows me I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I really want 10 questions. So my next one, I'm going to do the next standard that I want. So I'm going to do depth of knowledge 2 still. And let me look at it and see. Yes, I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add this item. Now I don't want that. Let me do the next standard. And let's check it. I want to do a word problem. Let's see if I can find a word problem. Okay, I'm going to add that one. And I'll add that one. So now let me check. I have 8 questions. I want 2 more. Let me do the next standard. And we'll do greatest common factor. Let me do the greatest common factor of 10 and 12. And I want the, let's see, the least number of packs. That'll give me the least common denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one. So that gives me 10, and I'm going to, that's all that I want. I want 10. So this tells me that there are 4 possible here. I have to label what numbers, how much are going to be distinguished, proficient, developing. So distinguished, I'm going to put if all of them are correct, proficient if 3 of them are correct, and developing if 2 are correct. Distinguished would be 2, proficient would be 2, developing is going to be 1. Then we'll do 2, 2, and 1. 2, 2, and 1. Now I'm going to create the assessment. Once I create the assessment, now I have it. And here it is. If I want to assign it, I go ahead and do assess. And there's the code that my students would use if they're using the Chromebook. That's how you create an assessment.